So this is a video mostly talking about how I'm going to be defending characters I think people find annoying in bracket, and I think the first one I'm going to be saying is about Min Min. Now when you think of Min Min, everyone thinks about how annoying arms are, how she can attack from across the stage and punish everybody, how her edge guards are free, how her two framing is free, and how she's designed to, just like arms, a really bad game. And I can't disagree. They did design this character to be very polarizing, like they slided up like range more than anything else if they were to just use a character slider. But I do think with how difficult she can be in a meta like this, she's more of a counterpick character than a solo main, if anything else. Like, I think whenever people see Min Min in top level, they're worried about like, oh, when you're playing as, let's even say Riddles, right? We talk about Riddles when he just played Remu in his last tournament at the Throne. And most people say that like, oh, that was super stupid, that was like bullshit and all that stuff. It's funny to me because I'm pretty sure most Terrys think that matchup's even. I think people just want to say they hate Min Min for her design and how polarizing she is for the characters when she doesn't dominantly beat like the good characters that hard until people realize she's annoying. Like, she's just annoying. And I feel like that's what she is. Like, her disadvantage is still bad, her recovery is still bad, she still has like no way to get out of combos. Like, once you get in, you can destroy her. But you know, I get that design wise she's pretty stupid for Smash Brothers. Like, she's definitely not a Smash character in the most traditional sense. But I think to throw away all of the Min Min's credit is kind of silly, especially knowing how good top level advantage states are. Like, even Candle, who I'm pretty sure all MRs think that matchup's awful, 3-0'd Remu right after he beat Riddles. Like, I think it's just a bit overblown, and Min Min has ways to be beaten. Alright, next up we're going to be talking about Kaza, and the funny thing about it is I am a gigantic hater of Kaza as a Mario player. I think Kaza has so many dumb moves, he kills stupid early, he's super heavy, his recovery has a hitbox for no reason, he has the dumbest move in the game, Electric Wind God Fist, which was probably said to be fair because it's hard to input, but it's really not that hard to input, and you get any follow-up you want off of it, get kills off of it. It's incredible, probably one of the best Smash moves ever. And I just do hate fighting Kazuya, but let's be honest, everybody, there's one, sometimes two per major. If we're talking about like top Kazuyas, I can think of like, we got Tease, got Riddles, Skeleton did really good at the last Let's Make Moves. There was like the European, I forget, it was just like, there's another one, but I keep forgetting his name. There aren't that many Kazuyas, and the ones that like people are worried about aren't really like super top level. They're worrying about like the mid-level ones, like the ones that will make that one upset but then lose two after. The ones that will ruin it for the high level players, like those upset Kazuya. I can get that. He's like a Bowser space in Mario Party. You don't want to run into a Kazuya. But his weaknesses are just very known at this point. Everyone knows. Like, he isn't going to dominate the meta. He's just going to be that character that, again, like a counterpick character, has his flaws, and the top players know how to beat him. And I think when it becomes a problem is when the execution barrier is so low, like with the boxes. Like, I think box Kazuya is way more of a problem than just regular Kazuya because it's so easy to do everything. There's no execution barrier. It's just free. And that's kind of an issue, but I think overall, I think, yeah, if you play Kazuya, you don't deserve to complain per se, but if you are fighting against Kazuya, your character has something they can do against them. Sometimes you're a heavy character and you just get 0 to death, that's fine, but like floaty characters can deal with him, characters are ranged, character projectiles. No, I mean, there's just ways to fight Kazuya, and I think everyone's realizing that more and more, which is why secondaries are like more required. I think solo Kazuya is just really hard, but counterpick Kazuya, very strong. So this next one I think is probably going to be the easiest one to defend for me, and that's because it's Sonic. Now, I get it, annoying, he's fast, camps, whatever, but come on, the best Sonic players in the world just don't touch anyone else when it comes to like popularity of their character and how many reps there are. I can think of like 5 great Sonic players And you know, one of them is Sonic's, of course. He's a top 5 player, arguably can be up 3, arguably can become the best player in the world. Then you have like Wrath, then you have like Sunito, who's a very good high level Sonic. Then you have Ken, of course, Japan. There are like the Sonics that have been doing this for a long time. I don't know of a Sonic that just rose out of nowhere. More than any other character in the game, I think Sonic actually takes technical skill. I think he's really dumb, and I think he can be the best character in the game, but I think he deserves the most respect of any of the characters. I think that most people suck in the matchup. I think that there are a lot of characters that, while they can lose to Sonic, can make it back in one way or another in surprising ways. If a Mario, which, by the way, is still a top tier character and is his worst matchup, can beat a top Sonic, it's possible for anybody. That's actually a good character, at least. And you know, there's just actual strategies that I think people are starting to do that make it so, like, hey, Sonic's keeps getting second because he loses to a lot of top players. Hey, Wrath has lost to a lot of people before. They're just not as dominant or as popular as other characters are. And now we even see like people like Ken or Sunito have secondaries because they know Sonic's execution and his dominance over matchups takes a lot of energy and time in a bracket. This is like one of the hardest, most bullshit characters in the game. This will also go for Mr. Game & Watch, who is probably going to be, I'd say, the hardest thing for me to justify as a character, but the easiest for me to player wise, because there just aren't that many Game & Watches. Like, there's Mia and Monty and Meister, and I can't think of any other ones. Like, I don't really know. Not to say that there aren't other good Game & Watches. Of course there are. But I think when it comes to just Sonic and Game & Watch, these characters that are seen as annoying just aren't played that much. I think Game & Watch's flaws are very weird because he can make up for it for just having a broken advantage state, and that's what he is. But I think if we're going to say in terms of respect, it's easier to watch Mia and be impressed by what he's doing than some Meister who trolls people sometimes with just spamming up smash over and over. And I think Game & Watch, while being a very, very good character, isn't any more top tier than any of the other top tiers. Honestly, he has a bunch of things that can make it annoying to play him against certain characters. Like having low range and being kind of slow means you kind of have to play in a way you're mashing buttons, mashing your best moves over and over, and that can be pretty annoying. Especially if you're finding a character like Pyramithra or Sonic or Steve or, you know, Joker, who can kill you super duper early and have the moves to do so. But you know, I think Game & Watch is probably my favorite of the characters that are stupid because I think he has the smartest player in the world, Mia, as his main rep, honestly. I think there are many times I watch Mia and he's the best player in the room. But, you know, maybe that's just a personal bias for me. I think Game & Watch is just not that dumb. And finally, I think of all the characters that are seen as dumb in Smash Ultimate, that have ruined the competitive game, that have made people quit the game, that have stopped many, many runs, have way too many reps, it is really, really stupid. It has to go to Steve. Steve has everything you want in a character. The only thing I'd probably say he has a flaw is his mobility sucks, but he has moves to make up for it. He has honestly made such an impact in the game to the point that I think I've seen people quit because of him more than anyone else in Smash history. I mean, even more than Bayo. Now, I think that at the end of the day, everyone's figuring it out. They're figuring out that Steve has these holes. They're figuring out that the best players in the world still have losses. They aren't dominating nearly as much as everyone thought they would, but I do think that has led because they have this back and forth opinion of if he should be banned or not, and people who play Steve have tournaments they have to go to that don't allow Steve, and I think that's what's leading to Steve's having like less practice and people leaving them, like all that stuff. But on the other side, I think the moments that we do see Steve players shine, it is usually the same ones. It's still Onin, it's still Akola, it's still the top Steves like DJ Doan, it's still you know, I think it's still like a character with their top reps, and he still has a lot of counterplay that people are learning and a lot of ways people have beaten him with a lot of different characters. There aren't just, oh, play Cloud or oh, just play Pyramithra. It's still a character that everyone can figure out. At the end of the day, I think all of these characters do have the benefit of being in a Smash game, so the balance is going to be enough that even a better player can lose to someone worse if they have a better game plan, if they play better. And I think that's what's leading to this inconsistency people keep saying that happens, where it's like no one's just super dominant right now. But I think that's a great thing. I think Smash is in a very healthy spot. Maybe not for the spectators who don't like those characters, but for the competitors who have to play against them. We do find more character variety than ever. We do see good Smash Brothers. The top 4 isn't as dominant as they used to be with the Cola, Sonics, Spargo, and Mia still all losing to different people, still have top 20 players. We still have a lot of dedicated people playing and enjoying the game. I don't think Smash Ultimate is as doomed as people say it is, honestly.